Welcome to the Spiritist Companion podcast. My name is Yuri Castro, and I'll be your companion on this journey where we study, reflect, and put Spiritist teachings into practice. As usual, if you enjoy what you hear, don't forget to subscribe, to follow, and to send this podcast to someone else who might need it too. And today I wanted to talk about something that I think is extremely important, inspired by the passage that we find in Matthew 6, where Jesus says, "No one can serve two masters. You cannot serve God and Mammon." Allan Kardec, the codifier of Spiritism, in the book The Gospel According to Spiritism, he writes about that on chapter 16. And I think this is a topic that feels especially relevant in our modern world, which is a world marked by speed, by consumerism, and constant comparison. And in the midst of all this noise, Jesus' voice still echoes and invites us to reflect. What master are we serving? What truly governs our lives? Our spiritual values or our attachment to material things? Let's explore that together. First, it's important to understand that the word mammon means material wealth, greed, excessive attachment to possessions, or idolizing money. Because Jesus did not condemn wealth itself, he condemned selfishness, exploitation, pride, the belief that happiness depends on accumulating things, and the neglect of those in need. That's why we have on Matthew 6:24, when he says, "No one can serve two masters." If the heart is divided between serving God and serving greed, material wealth, mammon, in other words, the spirit will then lose direction. Chapter 16 of the Gospel According to Spiritism explores a little bit more about this when Kardec is going to say that earthly possessions are temporary, spiritual possessions are eternal, which is something we have talked before in this podcast on the episode regarding materialism. Kardec is going to add that a person truly owns only what they can take with them when they leave this world. So once we exit here, once we leave our bodies behind, what is it that we're carrying with us? What do we actually take with us? We take no money. We take no titles. We take no material status. But we do take virtues, knowledge, moral strength, kindness, our character, and every inner victory that we've built. This is our real wealth. These are the things we will take with us. Our dear Master Jesus says, "Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." So depending on which master we're serving, that's where our heart will be as well. So where is my treasure, my dear friends? Let's ask ourselves that. Is my treasure in things, in appearances, in bank accounts, in trying to impress others, or in compassion, in service, relationships, spiritual growth? I think this is a very practical question that we can all ask ourselves and answer ourselves, because we will know the answer. Spiritism overall, as a movement, is very balanced in a way, because it does not condemn work or comfort or even material progress. We learn in the Spirit's book, question 674, that work is a law of nature, and we already talked about how it is the mission of the incarnate spirits to help those progress materially as well. So we know that we must work, we know that we must help others around us in a material and direct way as well, utilizing these things that will eventually come to pass, like title, like money, all these things that will stay behind, utilizing those things to the advancement of ourselves and of those around us. Having money necessarily is not the issue. The issue is being attached to it, living for it. Materialism itself in this context is not about the quantity necessarily, it's about dependency. If we reflect upon the idea that God is just and fair and loving, He would never put something in the hands of somebody that would only lead them to ruin. What sort of God would that be? To put an immense wealth in the hands of somebody, knowing that they're gonna fail. Putting something that is evil, if we consider wealth and money as being evil, in the hands of somebody else. Why would that be the case? That's not the work of a just, loving, perfect being. So it's not necessarily about having that. It's about what we're doing if we have that. The titles, the degrees, the money, and all those things that will stay behind. And we can even think of some examples, let's say, from daily lives here. So when feeling guilty because we think that, I'm not going to donate this because I might need it later. That's attachment. That's not prudence. Refusing to help because of fear of losing something. In that situation, money has become the master. Allowing work to absorb your entire emotional world. That means material life takes priority over spiritual balance. Comparing our lives to others constantly, that means serving Mammon, not God. Or buying things to fill inner emptiness. We can think of that, my dear friends, as dependency disguised as comfort. And I think we see that so much nowadays. These simple moments, they reveal much more than we think. The Spirit author Emmanuel in the book Thought and Life, he's going to say that wealth is an instrument of work, never of pride. And it's interesting that he's putting wealth here as an instrument. Money doesn't need to be an immense wealth, but just having money as this instrument of work, because with it we can work and we can help others as well. Emmanuel is going to say that the truly poor is the one who keeps the heart empty of higher feelings. That means that financial condition does not define spiritual condition. Absolutely not. The heart does. Spiritism teaches us that wealth in itself is not evil. It's the use that matters. Because wealth is also a means of doing good. And Kardec, in the book The Gospel According to Spiritism, is going to give 3 moral principles for using the wealth. 1 is honesty, earning without harming others. Number 2, moderation, using resources without excess, display, or waste. Number 3, charity, helping, supporting, building, and uplifting. And I think that the question that summarizes everything is this one: whom do I truly serve? Because no one can serve 2 masters according to Jesus. Do I serve God or Mammon? We serve Mammon when money dictates everything, when we live to impress, when we cling, accumulate, compare, or hide. We serve God when we choose love over pride, calm over impulse, generosity over fear, conscience over appearance, service over selfishness. Wherever the heart leans, that is our master. And as usual, I brought some applications here that we can try to use in our daily lives. Number 1, let's ask ourselves daily, Do I really need this? Of course, I'm referring to something material. Number 2, choose a modest but consistent donation. Why not? If we have some left, why not build generosity through habit? Number 3, avoid impulse purchases, which is so hard nowadays. Ask yourself, does this serve my soul or my ego? Is this for God or for Mammon? Number 4, honor your financial commitments, because this can produce moral harmony. Number 5, value experiences above possessions, because moments matter more than objects. Number 6, create an atmosphere of simplicity and peace at home. Number 7, declutter regularly, spiritually and materially. So donate, recycle, lighten your life. Number 8, avoid comparing your life to others, because this is one of the strongest forms of material slavery, especially when we're comparing to someone else regarding how much they have. Number 9, practice gratitude daily, because nothing destroys materialism faster than gratitude, than charity, than all these things that we will take with us because we're improving ourselves and those around us. Jesus, my dear friends, he wants us to be free from fear, from attachment, from anxiety, from the illusion that happiness can be bought. The kingdom of God begins in the heart that learns to use material life as a tool, not a prison. Because those who serve love will never be slaves to anything. We reached the end of another episode, this time episode 26 of the Spiritist Companion podcast. What a joy to have you here with me today. I hope, as usual, that this was somewhat helpful, and if it was, please share it with someone else as well, so we may spread the seeds of light together. May we all cultivate the riches that never rust: kindness, serenity, wisdom, and inner peace. I'll see you all next week. Stay well and walk with God. With fraternal love, your Spiritist Companion.